for witnessing the performance. We'll take, thank you. We'll just take 2 minutes for a breather and catch up with water, and we'll be shortly back. Meanwhile, you can just enjoy some of the legendary choreographing work. Thank you.
Oh, wait. It was hot.
Thank you guys for the patience. Today for this lecture demonstration, Greeny Mac, can you just please, I'm sorry, can you just intend to reduce the intensity? Thank you. Today for this lecture demonstration, we'll be putting a little light on contemporary dance, where it took place, and how from classical dance form to ballet or Indian classical dance form to modern to postmodern to today in contemporary dance. So we're going to start about I'm going to introduce what is contemporary dance today. And this lecture demonstration is from my education in India and Europe. And yeah, so on. So contemporary dance. Have you ever thought about why we dance? They are different style of dance. Is it just because people like to move differently? Or is there something bigger driving through these different styles? For many dancers, dance can tell story, make statement about society. Contemporary dance is a genre of dance performance that developed during the mid-20th century and has since grown to become one of the dominant genre of performing formal trained dancers throughout the world. With particularly strong popularity in US and Europe, although originally informed and borrowing from classical dance, modern dance, and jazz styles, it has come to incorporate elements from many dance styles. Due to its technical similarity, it is often perceived to be closely related to modern dance, ballet dance, and other classical concert dance styles. In terms of focus, its techniques, contemporary dance tended to combine the strong but controlled leg work of ballet. It also employs contact and release, floor work, fall technique, fall and recover, jumps, speed and slow. A sudden change of direction are often used. When people speak of contemporary dance, they think of a person dancing freely in everyday clothes with no inhabitants and with bare feet. This would be because they are related to the modern dance tradition, which gained popularity in Europe, and postmodern dance tradition, which gained popularity in 1960. But choreographers such as Alvin Nicolais and Mars Cunningham sit on the borderline of modern dance and contemporary dance. They separated dance from a narrative, but not from the meaning, exploring the body in abstract form and playing with the dancer's ability of mathematical precision. And the legacy continues with dancers and choreographers learning from the generation before embodying their philosophies, their cultures, adding their own histories and belief. This is how the more contemporary dance continues to grow. Some of the figure of contemporary dance choreographer in US and Europe and other Western continents, such as Mars Cunningham, Steve Paxton, Pina Bausch, Judith Indanen, David Gordon, Anna Teresa de Krishmakar, Trisha Brown, Leah Newson, Ohad Narain, William Forsythe, Dimitris Papiano, Shasha Walt, Sidil Arbi, and Akram Khan. So now we're going to witnessing again a video projection of some of the contemporary dance legendaries. We have a video. Enjoy the video.
가을엔 편지를 하겠어요. 누구라도 그대가 되어 받아주세요. 낙엽이 쌓이는 날 외로운 여자가 아름다워
hard.
I don't sleep, because when I sleep, I dream. And in my dreams, I'm always the good for nothing.
Mikey, the black, look at them! Don't take the black too!
Somebody who wants to spend a substantial amount of their time and energy exploring it and comparing today's lies with yesterday's leaks and so on. That's a researcher's job, and it just does not make any sense to ask the general population to dedicate themselves to this task on every issue. The point is you have to work. That's why the indoctrination system is so successful. A very few people are going to have the time or the energy or the commitment to carry out the constant battle that's required to get outside of the usual propaganda. The easy thing to do, you come home from work, you're tired, you had a busy day. You're not going to spend the evening carrying on a research project. So you turn on the tube and you say it's probably right. If you look at the headlines in the papers, you watch the sports or something,
Grini. So that was a small glimpse of contemporary dance today in Europe continents to across all over the world. So now we're gonna little put light on how this contemporary dance today was born and its journey. So in contemporary dance also started from like it found its roots from classical dance forms. So now we're gonna put little light on the modern dance history, where afterwards the postmodern dance and how contemporary dance evolved. So if we talk about the modern dance, history of modern dance. So modern dance has evolved from 19th to 20th century. The evolution and history of modern dance can be tracked back to three distinct waves of time. This lesson will explore how modern dance elements, focus, and movements are transit from the first, second, and third wave. So the first wave, when I say about the waves, so it's those eras from which year to which year. So the first wave of modern dance can be tracked back of its founder, Isadora Duncan, Ruth and Dennis. In 19th century, modern dance was recognized as non-traditional and was inspired by non-Western cultures such as Asian, Greek, and African cultures. Much of movement was taken from artwork and sculptures from these cultures. The style and movements of modern dance were first introduced in Europe but were brought to the front where the first school of modern dance, the Day-01 School of Dance Related Arts, opened in the United States. This introduced the audience around the world to the unconventional and creative way of movements, going against the rigid way of ballet. The second wave of modern dance brought new contributions and style. These new of dance forms created by Martha Graham in the most well-known pioneer of this era, bringing new and natural movements of modern dance. During this time, the focus was on the basic movements of breathing, walking, contracting, and releasing. This wave during the 1930s survived the time of the Great Depression and the Second World War. The significance of this time and the raw emotion that many people felt in society due to these events was reflected in dance. Modern dance was no longer looked at as abstract dance but was welcomed in the theatrical world as familiar and respected form of style. The third wave of dance began in 1960s, and it was we know as modern dance today. African American culture was in main influence of this period. This brought more movement and style, including jazz and tap, into the form of modern dance. The most widespread and well-known modern dance company of our day is the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theatre, which became popular in New York City in the late 1950s. This American dance company was founded by Alvin Ailey and also led by African American dancers. The Alvin Ailey Dance Theatre revolutionized the modern dance and enriched and preserved the African American culture and American heritage through choreographies. Although the leader, Alvin Ailey, has since passed, his legacy of this American dance theater still lives on it. So that was a small introduction of modern dance. Now, in next lecture, we're going to focus on and putting light on these pioneers of modern dance. So when we talk about the pioneers of modern dance, there are numerous contributors to the modern dance. However, only few made a significant change and contribution throughout the different waves of emotions and evolutions. Isadora Duncan, Ruth St. Dennis, Louis Filler, Ted Shawn, Martha Graham. Isadora Duncan considered the mother of and the founder of modern dance. Martha Graham, most well known for her piece in 1930 Frontier, Alvin Ailey incorporated African American theater. Modern dance use fluid yet controlled movement sequences to move through space in various directions to convey emotion, stories, and meanings through dance. Just as one of the coined dance moves, no boundaries, modern dance truly combine all the different forms of dance such as ballet, tap dance, and jazz dance. But in unique in a way, it is the abstract, fluid and free in both movement and purpose. Today, modern dance live on in various companies around the world. The work of and the works and contribution of the first pioneer of modern dance has left a legacy for the most well-known companies such as Alvin Ailey Dance Theatre. Modern dance continue to evolve the first time and has made mark on the dance world. So now when we talk about the modern dance and ballet or any classical dance form, so modern dance and all classical dance or any classical dance or any dance style has its characterization. So now in this one we're going to talk about the characterization in between ballet and modern dance. Use of space. While ballet dancers typically face the audience directly, modern dancers use all orientations, even completely turn on their back on the audience. Relationship to the music. In ballet, the dancers' movements composed and comprise harmoniously with the music, but in modern dance, dancers may dance offbeat or in concert of the music, ignore the music completely, or dance in a silence. Performance. Contrasting the large cast of artistic hierarchies of ballet, modern dance choreographers often also perform. They may work alone or with similar dancers group. Movements. Ballet has very strict, defined and set movements to get pieced together to create different dance forms and dance performances. In modern dance, however, dancers create a new language of movement with every pieces experimenting with how they can multiply their bodies and stagecrafting. So now we're going to again, we'll do a small video projection. So in this video projection, you will see pioneers of modern dance. Thank you.
Moving on further, we would now like to talk about postmodern dance. Postmodern is a 20th century concert dance that came into popularity in the early 1960s. This dance form was a reaction to the compositional and presentational of modern dance. Postmodern dance made the claim that all the movements was dance expression and any person was a dancer regardless of training. In this early postmodern dance was more closely aligned with the architectural and design movements. However, the postmodern dance movements rapidly developed to embrace the ideas of postmodernism, which relied on chance, self preferentiality, irony, and fragmentation. Postmodern dance, like other postmodern art forms, attempts to reintroduce everyday culture into the perceived void created by the modern art movement. The modern dance movement endured to power theatrical dance down to basic techniques. Some experts define postmodern dance as a distinct dance movement that was started by the Judson Dance Theatre and lasted only until the 1970s. Many theatrical dance pieces created after the 1970s can be viewed as postmodern by a wider definition. The postmodern dance art form was pioneered by Isadora Duncan and matured under the influence of Ruth St. Denis, Martha Graham, and Merce Cunningham, to name a few. Modern dance, viewed in the overall light of the modern art theory, sought to purify artistic expression by concentrating on technique and downplaying the influence of society and culture. Modern dance theory is still persuasive in the dance world. If viewed alongside other postmodern art forms, including the visual art, literature, postmodern dance is more than the art movement restricted to the 1960s and 70s. Postmodern dance relies on references to mass culture and everyday experience to create art, and many dance pieces fall into this category. Modern dance theory can be looked at as being exclusive, while postmodern dance theory is inclusive. Many credit the Judson Dance Theatre with developing postmodern dance. In 1962, a group of dancers rebelled against modern dance theory by performing different dance experiments at the old Judson Church. They named themselves Judson Dance Theatre and theorized that everyday movement could be a form of dance. They also believed that anyone could be a dancer if they had the desire and no formal training was necessary. The Judson Dance Theatre broke up in 1964, but a second group headed up by other experimental dancers, most notably Twyla Tharp, was started and performed until the 1970s. Twyla Tharp, a renowned choreographer, eventually moved on to become a more mainstream dancer, but her involvement with popular culture still places much of her work squarely into postmodernism's broader definition. She used popular music with her choreography and created dances for movies such as Hair and Ragtime. Her work included ideas mined from mass culture, modern society, and other art forms. Postmodern dance as a performance art was relatively short, lasting from the early 1960s to the mid 1980s. But due to the changing definition of postmodernism, it technically reaches the mid 1990s and beyond. The form's influence can be seen in various other forms, especially contemporary dance. Now I would like to invite Manju Sharma to throw some light on contemporary dance scenario in India.
Thank you, Pallavi. And now I would like to talk about contemporary dance scenario in India. After the establishment of Sangeet Natak Akademi for dance, music and drama in 1950, there had been formation of classical dances that exist in India today. The generations have experimented with the movement practices within and beyond these classical structures. Beginning with Uday Shankar, who is popularly known as father of modern dance in India. His works and collaborations with Western artists such as Anna Pavlova and Ruth St. Denis introduced dances from India to larger audiences in the West. His legacy was followed by many eminent dancers such as Zohra Sehgal, Sachin Sankar, and Narendra Sharma, who had learned under him. In the current times, we still see the presence of his style through Bharat Sharma and Santosh Nair's work. In the 60s and 70s, Chandralekha's work also emerged, who experimented with Bharatnatyam, Kalari, and yoga. Her production, Sarira, acknowledges the body in which sexuality, sensitivity, and spirituality coexist. Kumudini Lakhia, till today, works in Kathak practices, questions the traditions, and brings her own perspective, mainly in group choreographic works. In the southern India, Daksha Seth made many choreographic works experimenting with the forms, mainly Mayur Bhanchhau, Kathak, Malkham. Astad Debu was another renowned artist whose choreographic works had drawn its vocabulary from Kathak, Kathakali, Manipuri dances along with modern dance techniques. Navtej Singh Johar, based in New Delhi, is an Sangeet Natak Akademi award-winning Bharatnatyam exponent. He is an eminent choreographer and also a LGBTQ activist. His training focus has gradually moved from conventional training to questioning methods of pedagogy of Indian embodied practices. We also see Indian diaspora, namely in the works of Akram Khan and Shobna Jaising in London, UK. In the present times, Chennai-based dancers like Padmini Chattur, Preeti Atharya continued their learnings from Chandralekha and formed their own nature of practice. Jay Chandran Palaji, based in Bangalore and founder of Atta Kalari Center of Movement Arts, has done numerous works in Indian movement expressions of contemporary reality. Deepak Kurki Shivaswamy is another contemporary art performing artist based in Bangalore who has developed a dance pedagogy for professional dancers and actors and working in the field of education. In the Northeast, Surjit Nongmekapam is an Imphal-based choreographer who through his choreographic works seeks to promote the development in Manipur beyond the traditional conservative Manipur culture. Dance practitioner based in Delhi such as Mandeep Singh Rekhi continues exploring the intersections between dance creation, performances, research, and pedagogy. He, along with his fellow practitioners, also started master program in dance at Ambedkar University, Delhi. We hope that many artists keep emerging in the country with diverse dance expressions and explorations. Now we would like to play some videos of contemporary dance choreographers in India.
सौराष्ट्रात्म मन्त्रात्मने सौवर्ण स्वरूपात्मने भारतीज हरिहरात्मने भूतिमूर्ति वितरणात्मने सूर्य मूर्ते
தளங்கு தாகதேயத திருதகதரிகிணதாம் பிரகிருத்தின தத்தீம் ததத்தே தகஜனதாம் தாம் தாம் திருதத்தளங்கு தாகதேயத திருதகதரிகிணதாம் பிரகிருத்தின தத்தீம் ததத்தே தகஜனதாம் தாம் திருதத்தளங்கு தாகதேயத திருதகதரிகிணதாம் பிரகிருத்தின தத்தீம் ததத்தே தகஜனதாம் தாம் ஆகதேதம் பிரகிருதின தத்தீம் ததத்தே தகஜனதத்தோடகடே குத்தாம் ததகிடனக
Thank you so much. And now, as we are heading towards the closing of this lecture demonstration, I would like to thank Sangeet Natak Academy and the whole team to invite us for this lecture demonstration in this Natya Gati Utsav. And towards the end, I would like to apologize if we mispronounce some names or if we did not mention some of the names of the choreographers in India or in Europe. Thank you for witnessing the lecture.
देवियों सज्जनों, अभी आप आनंद उठा रहे थे श्री ललित खटाना द्वारा इस व्याख्यान प्रदर्शन और प्रस्तुति का। हम उनका बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं। आज की इस प्रस्तुति का विषय था भारतीय व पश्चिमी समकालीन नृत्य का तुलनात्मक इतिहास, और इस पूरी प्रस्तुति में जिन्होंने तकनीकी पक्ष का संयोजन संभाला और साथ ही प्रोजेक्शन का कार्यभार संभाला, ग्रीनी फ्रांसिस, हम उनको मंच पर आमंत्रित करते हैं। और साथ ही हम मंच पर एक बार फिर से श्री ललित खटाना जी और उनके साथी कलाकारों को मंच पर आमंत्रित करते हैं। श्री ललित खटाना, मंजू शर्मा और पल्लवी वर्मा। We also request Greenie Francis to join. सभी कलाकारों को हम एक बार फिर से धन्यवाद करते हैं। देवियों सज्जनों, नाट्य गति उत्सव के प्रथम दिवस के प्रथम सत्र को अब हम विराम देते हैं। दोपहर 2:30 बजे नाट्य की विभिन्न गतियों पर कार्यशाला का आयोजन होगा और तत्पश्चात शाम को 6:30 बजे हम आपके समक्ष समकालीन नृत्य की प्रस्तुतियां भी रखेंगे। सजीव प्रसारण संगीत नाटक अकादमी के फेसबुक पेज और यूट्यूब के माध्यम से आप जुड़ सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं। आप सभी को दोपहर 2:30 बजे के सत्र के लिए हम आमंत्रित करते हैं। आप सभी जुड़े। धन्यवाद।